Hello everybody, this is Cords, and we are back in Project 1999, and I had a great day. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I got level 21 and level 22 in the same day, which is always awesome. Good stuff going on there. And, yeah. I went to Guck Top first and got level 21, had a really good group. I ended up breaking off because I had to leave for a little bit. And then later I went to Unrest, where a druid helped us. I'm not going to say their name because I don't know if they want their name said. But you'll probably end up seeing it in the video anyway. So we ended up pulling close to 10, maybe more, greater dark bones, and the bracelet did not drop. And I need 2 of them. So, it looks like I'm going to be in the Fadar area for a while now. And so, because I still have stuff to get from Mistmore. So, that's pretty much my groupage. I want to bring up a topic that I probably already brought up once or twice already, and people still keep telling me in messages and on my videos that I need to strafe kite. And I'm telling you, I will not do it. And that's all I'm going to say about that. The reason I'm not going to do it is because of this. I feel that strafe kiting takes up your mobility as far as being able to use your mouse to switch between songs and weapons, or being able to use your keys to switch between songs while moving your weapons around. Because strafing, you have to hold your key to turn. Then you also have to hold your mouse to turn the opposite way. And that leaves you in a state of not being able to do anything else until you let go, change your instrument, change your song, and then go on your merry way and do it again and again and again. And that's maybe I need somebody to show me the difference of what I'm talking about there, because that's exactly what swarm kiting sounds like, and not swarm kiting, but strafe kiting sounds like to me. So I'm not doing it. It's not I don't need to do it or anything like that. I'm just telling you, I'm not doing it. If I have to strafe to be able to swarm kite in Project 1999, which I did not have to do in Classic, then I will wait until I get Charm, and I will Charm kite my way to level 60, or I will just stay in the very awesome groups. You know who you are, people that I've been grouping with, and get myself to level 60 that way, because you do not need to kite in raids. Thank you very much. And that's all I'm going to say on that. If you keep sending me tells, I'm just going to ignore you, or just say thank you and go on my day. But let's talk about the class that I'm going to talk about today, because it is a doozy. There's so much information that I can give you, but there's so little information that I can give you about them as well. We're talking about the Ranger, and as far as stats go, points, there are probably 3 ways that you can go about it, depending on the playstyle that you want for your end game. If you want to raid, then go all strength. If you want to solo, you probably want to go strength dex. If you want to primarily use your bow, then you probably want to go old dex. If you want to kite and be a solo ranger your whole life, then you probably want to go wisdom. But in all honesty, starting stats on all classes are arbitrary, because of the fact that they are not really going to hinder you in the end game. And that is because even if you don't raid by the time Vilius comes out, raiding in Vilius will give you all the stats that you need to max out your basics, not your basic, but your core stats. Strength, stamina, wisdom, dex, agility will be pretty well close to maxed through gear, no matter which way you go. Now, will those stats be topped off faster if you put points into them? Of course they will. But with a ranger, you choose what you want to do as far as where you want to be at level 60. Do you want to be grouping and soloing? Do you want to be raiding and grouping? Because it really defines what you will be and how you want to gear your character. So that's all I'm going to leave it on with those, because that is so hard to tell somebody how to put their stats, especially in a ranger. The other classes that I've gone over so far are pretty much defined optimals, so that you can be the best of your class that you can be, but a ranger is so different. So the thing that you really want to do with a ranger is get your Ivy armor pretty fast in your 30s, though some of the items that you have to get are a little bit harder to get. Some of the items that you need to get are really easy to get, because the gargoyle item that you need from Mistmore is almost always rotting, because it almost always drops, if not always. The other thing is that your epic is epic. It's probably one of my favorite epics in the game, because it's 2 epics, but the haste that it gives you is amazing, and the damage and the proc on the other weapon that you get is awesome as well. So definitely want to try to start your epic in the 40s, so that you can try to have your epic by the 50s. If you can get the help from people that you need to get certain parts. Or if you're rich, you can just pay for it and do it that way. Here are the downsides that I see for rangers, and it's not the ranger themselves, it's more the people that look at rangers whenever they're looking at filling group spaces. I think rangers are so underlooked in Project 1999 because of the fact that of the negative experience, as people think that sometimes negative experience affects the group. It does not. It only affects the player, except for maybe certain circumstances, which I never really got into that, because I would rather have people in my group killing stuff and gaining experience than worrying about what negative experience that they're getting. Except for Shadow Knights, why do you put your pet up in a group? You're taking experience away from them by having your pet. Okay, so as far as the grouping goes, there's many ways that a ranger can go. Is that they can be a tank if they need to be. Through the spells that they have, they can hold aggro. Plus, they have a taunt ability, which a lot of people forget about. They can use a two-hander. They can use dual wield. They can use one hand and a sword, or one hand and a shield. And they have multitudes of ways that they can play their class. Or they can range damage the whole time. If you leave the back exposed on the mob, they will be critting like nobody's business. So just think about that whenever you're filling your group spots. For me, I am not biased on your class. If like today. Today is one day past the current video that we are on. Today I was in a group and we went down to where we had no warrior. It was me, the bard, and a rogue, sweetie, and shaman, cleric, and a wizard. And we were waiting for a tank to fill that last spot, which that last spot was empty for a long time. We had an enchanter in queue, and to be honest, I would have rather had the enchanter so that we could be getting that extra damage in, because I can hold taunt, and I can hold aggro, and I can keep mobs slowed, and I can do everything to make it so that we can kill. I can charm, so we weren't having issues at all during the whole time. And finally, we ended up getting the enchanter in the group, and it relieved me from doing certain things so that I could do other things. So I was essentially the tank. If you have an open spot and you're waiting for another class to take it, unless it is a camp that you have to have it, like the Gypsy camp in Mistmore, where you really do need a tank, unless you have a really well geared other thing. But a ranger can tank. They can hold taunt, they can do spells to hold taunt, and so many other things. And I think that's where they're overlooked, because a lot of people think, look at, we are in a group and we have a spot coming available. There are 3 people in the zone that are looking for a group. One is a ranger, one is a druid, and one is any other class. And they say, why don't we get the druid instead of the ranger, because that's extra heals and extra damage, whenever they're forgetting the fact that that ranger can do so much for the group, that can make us kill much faster. And I don't know. I don't know what the mindset of people are, that they overlook the ranger, or say, ranger. I don't get it. I don't get it myself. So anyway, that's really all I can say about the ranger, is that do not play a ranger because you can't, because of the penalty. Play a ranger because you want to play a ranger. Put your stats in the way that you want to put your stats in, depending on how you want to play the game. And remember, I'm only giving you information. I'm not really saying I am the #1 source for all rangers of all rangerdom. Please, if you're a level 60 in a raid guild, or if you're level 60 ranger that groups, if I'm not giving the information that is required, please leave information below so other people can see it and they can give that information, or they can take that information and go from there and say, hey, that sounds good, this is what I want to do, and that's where I'm going to go with it. It's a weird thing in a game like EverQuest, that the people who play classes that are least wanted are the best people. And that usually goes for paladins, because paladins are one of those classes that are negative experience. They really don't come into their own until Vilius also. So they end up getting overlooked, but those are some of the greatest people to group with, because they care about their class more, is how I usually feel about it. Now, I care about my class because I love my bard, and I want to make sure that we are doing everything we can in a group to make sure that everyone is being healed, everyone is being taken care of, the mobs are slowed, and we are charming mobs that we need to whenever a enchanter isn't in the group. So I want to leave off with one other thing, and something that you may see in this video is that whenever I'm pulling, I'm stopping, I'm charming, I'm slowing the mob, then pulling the mob to the group. This is something that I learned in Classic EverQuest, because if you do not have an enchanter in the group, or you do not have a shaman, then slowing is usually the best thing to start off with, is get it slowed, especially if you're not taking much damage, or know how to play your class really well. You may say that it's slowing down the amount of the speed at which I pull, but it's actually keeping me able to pull. Because what I do is I pull the mob straight to the group, and then I move on once they have aggro and go on and pull more. And because of the way that I play the class, I was able to pull tongs and shins and anything that was red to us, and still be able to help hold control because of the way that I play. Now, you may think I'm wrong in doing it this way, or maybe I'm wasting time, but I would rather not have people dying in our group. And that's really all I'm going to say about that. And I'm saying that a lot. All I'm going to say about that is this, and it's rule. I'm not trying to be arrogant that way. I'm just trying to get the information I can out. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day, a great night. See you in game. Please send me a tell. This is Chords. Peace out.